Hello everyone, it is May 1st, 2021. And we are at Hungarian Falls on the Keweenaw. So I want to start here. You can see the falls get a lot better than this. This is just more rapids over here. But you look at the rock here, you can see it's brown, dark gray, pitted, that kind of stuff. That's because these are the Portage Lake volcanics right here. They're behind me too. And you look down, and if you wanted to look in the river, you can see that they make up the bed of the river too. And we're here to look at the Portage Lake volcanics because as we follow the river and head, well, it's not really south, I guess it's more east, if you will, head downstream, the Portage Lake volcanics are going to disappear. Not magically, they're going to disappear because they get faulted out. The big falls, the upper falls, the ones everybody takes pictures of, is very near the fault. Now, what fault am I talking about? I'm talking about the Keweenaw Fault. And this fault probably started as a normal fault when the volcanics were deposited during the Mid-Continent Rift. When the rift failed, basin subsidence started, and the rocks later got compressed, lifting it up and turning the Keweenaw into a reverse fault. But the rocks change at that fault. We like to model the Keweenaw Fault because it's usually seen on small scale maps like the one Cannon did in 2001 as a single dark line, as a single fault. It's actually a close series of tight faults. It's more of a fault zone, if you will. And the upper faults are real close to it. You see conglomerate type stuff and brecciated volcanics. And past that, we get to the Jacobsville group. And that's where I'm going to show you next. The falls are kind of slippery and a little dangerous to be doing, and they're too loud for me to actually record down there. But as you're looking right here, you can see these are the upper falls, and you look at the rocks, you can see the conglomeratic nature, brecciated nature in it and stuff like that, because you're real close to the fault right here. In some places, it would even be considered the Jackson Creek Formation of the Jacobsville group. But I think that's it for now. We're going to head along the river, and I keep saying south, but like I said, the river flows more east-southeast. We're going to head back that way downstream, and we're going to go look at the Jacobsville real quick. Okay, we are at the second stop. We have moved significantly from where we were at the first place, where you saw rocks that looked a lot like this dark gray, brown, and I never could pronounce this, so I apologize, amygdaloidal basalts, stuff like that. You saw a lot of these. Well, this rock at this location, other than occurring as pebble float in the glacial and in the riverbed, is not here. You look to over here and behind me in the cliffs, and you see these rocks. They look pretty bedded. And sometimes they're even cross-bedded, sometimes cross-bedded very well. But we can't really get up on the rock right here, and it's getting windy, so we came down here to record this. But the rock looks more like this. You see this red. It weathers whitish on the front. Sometimes it'll have green over it. And sometimes the red is modeled with this lighter color. It's leached out. The iron is what makes it red. And then when it's lighter like this, that means the iron has been removed, most likely through groundwater activity long after deposition. This is the Jacobsville group, and I'm pretty confident that we are either in the upper formation, which is a Checkamegnon, or near the Devil's Island, which is the middle, more quartz arenite layer. But up there behind us, more upstream, it does look more like the Checkamegnon because it's not very mature. And what we mean by mature is we mean there's a lot of lithics and feldspars in it. That makes it immature. If it's mature, it's quartz arenite, and mostly quartz. The Jacobsville group here is the uppermost Precambrian classic sequence of rocks in the area. It's Neoproterozoic in age, but we came from the basalts and the Portage Lake volcanics. There's some andesites and stuff like that, some rhyolites, things like that. But normally in between the two, we see the Oronto group, which has a copper harbor at the bottom, then the Nonsuch, which is lacustral, dark, lake stream deposits in the Freda above, and then this stuff, the Jacobsville group, is even above that. So where's the Oronto group? Well, it's probably really far down. See, when the Keweenaw Fault reversed due to compression, the Jacobsville, which was over most of the volcanics locally, got lifted up. And the Oronto group may be practically non-existent here. We don't really know for sure, because if it is here, it's way beneath our feet. The area of Hungarian Falls here, this trail, has a lot of not only structural geology, because we have the fault zone, Cumulus Fault. There's a lot of stratigraphy here. We have the Portage Lake Volcanics next to the Jacobsville here. There's a lot of sedimentology here. We have cross beds, changing lithology even within the Jacobsville. So there's a lot going on here, even though we really only have a couple geologic units. I'm not going to talk about the glacial stuff. This isn't glacial anyway, but I'm not going to talk about it. There is some glacial deposits, but it's a thin mantle on top of the rocks. Really nothing to write home about. But behind me here is the Middle Falls, so that's our present location, and we're going to continue. The river goes from southeast-ish here into more east-southeast again, and then eventually enters into the lake down behind us there. And the Jacobsville is still exposed that entire way down there. So anyway, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I hope you learned something. Where are we?
Hungarian Falls.
Hello everyone, it is May 1st, 2021. I'm not sure the exact time. It's just not stopping.
Do you need us to move? Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh, it's fine. They're fine. Okay. And here, the Jacobsville, the Jacobsville group here is the uppermost Precambrian classic sequence of rocks